excited. The lights are on and twinkling. The family is coming with their presents and their joy. And now it's time to sit at the table and enjoy one of the finest cuts of meat, indisputably the king of beef, which is that reserve black Angus prime rib. And this is an offer that is only happening right now this year. So a lot of times we will have multiple today's special values in the prime rib from Rastelli's. We will only have this one at a today's special price, today's special value price this year. What you're looking at is the finest hand trim aged prime rib, and fear not, the preparation is so easy. It's literally 3 steps to gourmet on your table. We're offering 2 sizes, 4 pounds. That's going to feed probably 5 to 6 people. Or you can get the 6 pound. That will serve probably closer to 10 people. Carving board, 5-star restaurant quality in your choice of sizes, but then also available when you want it to ship. So if you want it early, October 7th is our first ship week. You can also have it shipped November 11th if you want to use it for Thanksgiving. And then we'll have a December 9th ship week for you as well. You can also lock into this with auto delivery, which locks in the today's special value price. That will ship now, or whichever of the ship weeks you choose, and then another shipment will come in April of 25 at the same today's special value price, or you'll also get another one for November of 2025. You'll get your prime rib, you'll get the gourmet butter, the seasoning pack, and an instruction sheet to make it goof-proof to put on your table for your family. The butcher's favorite cut. And speaking of that butcher, here he is, the man.
Good morning.
There is only one Ray Rastelli, and he brings to us the finest meats from farm to table, basically, is what we're talking about with the prime rib.
That is what's so important, and I really wanted to share with you the Rastelli tradition, right? This is on our table for Thanksgiving, for Christmas, for Easter, and for Mother's Day as well. So it's something that I love at home. It's the beautiful prime rib. It's reserve, but I'm going to show you today how in 3 steps, and all of about 30 seconds, you are going to have a prime rib that looks just like this. Look at the juices that are coming out of this. This has been hand trimmed. It's all black Angus beef from small farms that I have worked with for over 45 years, Jane. And the key with this is it's aged for 45 days. And it's reserve. Reserve means only 4% of all cattle actually will qualify for this quality. And you'll see every slice is just like the one before it. Incredibly juicy, incredibly tender, and with the simple with the simple recipe I'm going to give you, and I give you everything for it. The only thing you have to have is an oven and a knife.
That's it.
Everything else is done for you.
Look at that fat cap, and that's where all that flavor is. There is a distinct flavor to a prime rib, which is why it is Ray's favorite cut, and he's made it so easy to place your order and to also be successful in the kitchen. The last thing we want around the holiday is more stress, and you don't have to stress about what your food is going to be like when you do it like this. I want you to also look at how many cuts you're getting off of this 6 pound. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's probably 3 more cuts off of this piece. And if you were going to that steakhouse and you were getting a 8-ounce prime rib or 4-ounce prime rib, how much would it be? You're looking at 6 pounds of prime rib black Angus beef, hand trimmed, for $159.98. I would venture a guess that you can't take your family to that restaurant for $159 for sure. So if you want the 6 pound, please don't hesitate. If the 4 pound suits your family size better, then get that. Here's what I'd also consider. If you've got multiple occasions where you're going to be hosting, so you got all the family coming over for Thanksgiving, for example, go ahead and get whatever size you think will be perfect. But then get that second prime rib, and I'll tell you why. because of all the drop-ins, because of all the last-minute kind of things that happen. Or maybe this is what you serve for your really elegant tailgates and that kind of thing, and you just want to have that on hand so that you can enjoy this delicious prime rib. So we're going to break it all down for you. If you're someone who has already purchased and received any of Ray's prime ribs in the past, call us. We'd love to hear your story. But imagine putting this tray of beautiful prime rib on your table for your family and how quickly that's going to get gobbled up.
That will, and that 6-pounder will feed 10 to 12. The 4-pounder will feed 6 to 8 very, very generously. But I want to really talk about where it starts, because as a butcher, my job is to make sure I bring the very, very best meat to begin with. So this is what we call a standing rib roast. This rib roast is black Angus. It's been aged for 45 days, but here's what our butchers do. After the 45-day aging process, and the reason for aging, Jane, is it's a natural process. The natural aging breaks down the fibers, the enzymes, the proteins. That's why on a great steakhouse menu, it always says aged to perfection. But I want you to see what we do. We take all this fat cap off of here. We take this off completely of the bone. And you know what you get? You get this beautiful boneless prime rib. This is 6 pounds. You're going to slice from one end to the other because our butchers have completely trimmed it. And as a butcher, this is what I look for. When I see this marbling in here, this is what I call meat candy. That's what's going to melt. That's why when you saw me slicing it, it just juiced and juiced and juiced because of that natural enzyme breakdown. And of course, you get a beautiful tender cut of meat.
And I want to talk about preparation too, but I also want to talk about the experience of what it's like to pull something like this out of your oven, to put it on your center table, to have your family and friends gathered with your favorite bottle of red wine, sitting and talking about old times, the time that Uncle Walt knocked over the tree and the cat ran into the kitchen and the dogs jumped up on the counter. All of those wonderful stories and all those memories that are made are around the table where the best steak has been served and offered to you. And here's the other thing. Ray has made this easy, and I'll tell you why. I figured this out a couple of years ago working with Ray. He doesn't want you to mess up his good meats. So what he does is he makes it so that it is basically goof-proof. I know it's intimidating when you see a big piece of meat like this.
Yes.
And how do I prepare it? It's the first thing that comes into mind. So you've made that easy too.
You could get intimidated, but you don't have to with this. Remember, I'm a butcher. I'm not a chef, so I try to make it easy for myself as well. So you're going to get this that shows you 3 steps. So that's going to come in the box. Along with it, you're also going to get your time and temperature chart, which is really going to show you how much time and how much temperature you're going to use to actually get that product perfect. So let me show you how simple it is. The first step is thaw. So all I've done, I've taken the beautiful prime rib that's coming into you, thawed out. It's going to take about 2 days in your refrigerator because it's a big piece of meat, right? It's it's a 6-pound piece of meat. So that was the first step. Really simple, right? Everybody can do that.
We can do that.
Second step, just take your knife, score the top of it a little bit. And the reason I like to score it, Jane, is it helps get the seasoning and the butters through it. So you're going to be getting the seasoning. So be generous with the seasoning. Just throw it on top, rub it in. Now, while I'm doing this, my oven is heating to 300 degrees. So it's going to be getting preheated. Then just take the butter that I give you right here and then just coat the top of your prime rib.
You get 2 butters for the 6-pound and 1 butter for the 4.
That's
right. Should be enough. It's all measured out.
And all you've got to do is coat this. In fact, there's a lot of extra butter, so you're going to be able to use that butter for whether it's going to be, on some of your vegetables. I love it on potatoes, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah.
It's roasted garlics, and it's real garlic that are roasted, and some herbs and spices. So this is something I like, actually, my grandkids do. They like to do this.
They like the butter,
right? Just the butter because it's almost like icing a cake, right? But once you've got that completely covered just like that, it's thawed out, that's your prep. That's all you have to do.
I can do that.
Everybody can do that, Jane. It's so, so simple. So here's the other trick that I would like to show you, a little tip. I like to take wine and I like to take water. So I like to put a cup of each in the bottom of the pan. And the reason I do that is because I want to make sure that when the butter melts, the butter is actually going to melt into this and create the most incredible au jus. So prepped it. My oven's at 300 degrees. All I'm going to do is take this with, of course, that wine and water in the bottom. I'm just going to go right into that oven.
There it is.
Now, Here's one of the most important things, is a thermometer. So important to use a thermometer because our chart will tell you that if you're going to cook the 6-pounder to medium, 3 hours. If you're going to cook the 4-pounder to medium, 2 hours. But your oven may be a little hotter,
yeah.
or a little cooler than other ovens. So just take that roast, pull it out, stick that thermometer in. It'll tell you what that temp is. And when you get to 140 degrees, you're done. Okay. You want to put, that's the perfect medium. So I'm going to pull that out, set that thermometer down there.
I'll put this one in.
And I'm going to show you how simple this is. You saw the simple prep method. I'm going to take the prime rib. I'm going to set it on here. Now, typically, I like to let that rest, Jane, for about 10 minutes. But I want to show you something we created with the butter and the wine and the water, right? We're creating an au jus.
Oh, look at that.
That's, I kind of call that liquid gold, right? And all I'll do is I'll put that on top of the stove and I'll just heat that up, simmer it a little bit. But that will be the most incredible au jus. And that was made with the butter. And of course, a little bit of that wine.
That's going to have a good flavor. If you wanted to add a little cornstarch slurry in there, you could to thicken it up a little bit, but that's your gravy. And of course, when you slice into this, after it's had a chance to rest properly, you're talking about the perfect prime rib. And let me just say this as we go back through the offer. This is your chance, again, to lock in to a today's special value price for the only prime rib that we're going to have at today's special value price from Rastelli's for the year. 4 pounds priced at $119.98. 6 pounds priced at $159.98. 5 easy pays and free standard shipping available with both choices. And you get to choose when you want them to come. So choose the first ship week, which is October 7th. I'll have it in time for my daughter's birthdays.
Perfect.
Everybody's got events. It doesn't have to be just be Thanksgiving or Christmas. This is something that can be for any celebration you have. November 11th, December 9th, and once again, you have the opportunity to, again, take the stress out of what you're going to be putting on the table. This has become a tradition for a lot of people, Ray. A lot of people tune in to find that perfect prime rib and come every year to get it from Rastelli's.
And it's so simple, and I wanted to make it simple, whether it's a prime rib dinner or this is one of my favorites. Take it, slice it nice and thin. How about putting that prime rib sandwich to bed
and maybe some of that au jus on top
with a little bit of au jus on top there, and all of a sudden we've got something that is so incredibly special and simple and easy, because I wanted to make sure that you got everything in the box. All you need is a knife to slice and of course your oven. We give you the chart that gives you exactly, Jane, what the amount of time is that you're going to cook it. And you're getting that 16-page cooking guide as well, which gives you some of the different tips and tricks that we use. But this is the star of the show. When I can slice into this prime rib just like this, and you can see that every slice is going to be perfect. And all I did was put it in the oven, prepped it and put it in the oven. It's as simple as that. Here, I'm going to give you a piece right here.
Just give me a little sliver.
I'll give you a little sliver here.
Thank you very much. Perfect, so I can have a little snack. Oh my gosh, look at this meat. So tender. And the flavor, oh my gosh. This is why this is called the king of beef.
Yes, it really is. It's just a beautiful piece. And all the things that I've done here, there's actually a video. It's about a 90-second video on QVC.com on this. You'll see me go through this and explain it. So it's so simple and easy. I don't want any stress in your life. Around the holidays, make it simple and easy, and you'll have the perfect prime rib every time.
I mean, that with a potato with some fresh roasted vegetables, that is going to be fabulous. And again, there's the video that Ray is literally walking you through. Receiving the black box, opening the black box, telling you how to handle your meat. It's going to be frozen when you get it. Put it right in the freezer until you're ready to use it. 2 days before, take it out and put it in the refrigerator so it can thaw out. After it's thawed, so easy. The preparation is score the top of it, put the butter on it, add the seasoning, and then put it in the oven on low and slow for the amount of time that it lists, depending on how rare or how cooked you want it. So from rare right on up to medium. I think medium is probably the preferred way to eat prime rib, so it's still tender and juicy. And speaking of juice, look at all of that mouth-watering juiciness in that meat.
Yes. Now this is the 4-pounder,
Right.
and the 4-pounder again, all the recipe, same exact recipe. The time's a little different. It's only going to take about 2 hours to cook. But I'm going to show you when I slice this 4-pounder down, because again, it is completely trimmed. Look at